Hey guys, Boston, Massachusetts is checking in, and we're about to talk about it. An interview with the mother of Brittany Davis, the mother of the missing 4-year-old girl, Malia, who may be deceased. You can check out this story on all viral access media. Okay? Now, I don't want to really go hard on this mom because she may be depressed, broken, and just really going through knowing the fact that she put her child in harm's way. And I believe that she did. Even the father of the little girl, Malia Davis, his family accused her of allowing her child to be abused, and the mother knew. Brittany knew that her daughter was being abused. One thing that stood out to me regarding this baby girl, she said she always wanted a baby girl. The interviewer asked her, how was it when you had Malia? And she said she was alone, as opposed to having family members there, the baby dad there. She was alone. She had her all alone. So right there, I believe it was some resentment. Okay, I can't prove that, but that's just what I believe. She keeps saying, I was out of town. I was out of town. I went to my dad's funeral. Okay, did you even have a relationship with your dad? Because you entrusted your child with an abuser. Someone that you knew was assaulting your daughter and possibly touching her. And then come to find out he may be gay on the low. The boyfriend, that is. And she wasn't upset because the child or children were not at the airport. She was more upset that he didn't come to the airport. He waited 2 hours and he never showed. The mom actually picked her up from the airport. But any parent that is hands-on and truly love their child or children, when they get off of work, they look forward to going home to see their children. They look forward to going to the daycare to pick up their child. It's like, oh, mommy, I missed you. And that wasn't alarming to her. She wasn't alarmed that her children wasn't there. She wasn't alarmed that, she was more upset that the guy was not there. And I'm like, okay. At what point do the red flags start going on? The jing bells in your head. Wait a minute, something's wrong. He's not answering. You know, he was supposed to pick me up 2 hours ago. He knew I was returning. But she was more upset he didn't come and pick her up. The interviewer asked her, could you have left your babies with someone else in your family, the grandmother, an aunt, anyone? She said, my aunt doesn't stay here. Okay, so what about your mom? Because the mom was on TV giving a report talking about the grandbaby. Now they don't even talk. And normally when a traumatic event happens such as this, you put the bullshit behind you and everyone comes together. And it's all hands on deck at this point. But for some odd reason, she has cut off contact with her family. Forget his family. The guy said, the interviewer asked her, was it ever any abuse going on in your household? Physical, mental? She said no to all three questions. But then he hit her back with what you reported that it was. So which one is it? Is it there was abuse or it was not abuse? And then the man who was to the left of her during the interview, he's answering all these questions for her that she should be able to answer. Like the father said, no news media should be able to tell me about my child. No police, not the mother, but the man that my child was with. And he was even broken up, but she seemed to be reserved. She seemed to have it together, which is unusual for a mother who has a 4-year-old little girl, a daughter, and is missing and presumed dead. Because let's keep it real honest, they haven't found the child. There's evidence of him carrying out a laundry basket, which she reported that the mother just did the laundry on May the 1st. She couldn't get in the house. When she returned back from the trip, the funeral, she had to go and have maintenance to open the door. And the police had to make him open the door because she seen a light on in her house. And I assumed that no one was supposed to be there. So that's how she gained entry into her own house. Now, he had the bleach. He asked her, was it like anything unusual regarding like the house, like the cleaning or anything like that? She said no, because they pretty much kept a clean house. But bleach has a strong scent. Bleach has a strong scent, a strong odor. So if you're not washing clothing and putting it on your floors to wash your floors, then why is bleach being used? On this interview, the most important thing that makes me think that she is involved, and I hate to say that, okay, is the fact that behind her or on the side of her, to the right of her, there is a big picture of her daughter, and her back is turned away from the picture. Now, I know police normally do that when they want a confession from a suspect, for you to look at that person's face. You understand what I'm saying? To see if they can get a reaction out of you. But there is no reaction out of her. This lady she is turned away from that picture. And that's unusual for me. Like, how are you just so composed? How? Why are you not broken up every other word? She seems to be showing emotion when it comes to her and this man. She said she wanted to believe that someone kidnapped her daughter. Ma'am, you didn't grow up in your hood all your life. That is something that really, truly, that do not really happen in the black community. Kids coming up missing does not happen in the black community, in the black household. That don't happen. So she said, I wanted to believe that. I'm not believing that. You tell me my child's missing, I want answers. I want answers. Okay? And you giving me this wishy-washy story. And you going to the hospital to check on him. Fuck that. What about your child? Of course, social media is outraged. And every parent in the world is outraged. Because we know that there is some foul play involved. Of course, many things is going to come out during this trial and jury. But I know she what could I say she's guilty of? What can we say she's guilty of? Because we're the jurors now, guys. Okay? So she is guilty of neglect. She is guilty of knowing that this man was abusing her, or something foul was going on behind that door. Because sometimes those kids, they talk. Kids talk. Kids will tell Nana, will tell somebody something is going on. And I believe that the only reason Brittany wanted to keep that little girl from her mother, because the little girl probably went over there to visit Nana and started talking. And Nana had some questions about what she heard. Because, they said there's a lot of things in Hines' respect that she neglected. Some of these women will get with men and know that they fucking their daughters. Their little girls touching on them. Letting little girls sit on men's laps. Letting little girls sit between men's legs. Leaving your child in a house with a man who don't even mind his own child. Where's his children? It's one thing if he goes and get his children and bring your children forth and they play together, but it's another when he don't. Why is he so attentive to your child and a little girl? Mind you, his son is alive. He is alive. The man who is representing her, he said that when they went to the boyfriend's family's house, they weren't trying, it wasn't about the little girl, it was about protecting the boyfriend, his family. But the guy gave him a list of things that just seemed shady. He stopped talking to her. He stopped communicating with Brittany, the boyfriend. He started avoiding her. He wasn't answering any questions. All he said was, I'm sorry. I tried to protect her. I hate to say this, but I would have felt much better if all y'all would have came up missing or dead. Then I knew you went hard for my child, man. But that's not the case. She said she can't wrap her head around her daughter probably being deceased. What happened, Ma? You found out that he was supposedly taking your daughter to daycare. Who was taking her to daycare prior to y'all meeting and going together and having a relationship? Who? But then later on, he would pick the little girl up and bring her back to the house. Why? And then why wasn't you notified if he was doing all of that? It's unusual for a daycare to release a child, even to another parent. You have to sign off on that. If the little girl ain't sick, why is she not in school? She claimed the little girl hit her head on the table, the edge of the table, and split her skull. And the child was removed. And her other children are removed now. They're in custody with the family. But the family will not allow her to see those children. Why? If children are removed from your home, you don't get them back in like 6 months. So why was the little girl returned back to the home? She don't appear to be a drug addict or off the hook. She had some text messages out there like, oh, he set me up. How do he set you up, ma'am? Because for one, sisters, nigga acting wrong, man, you got to go. We about to dump you. You understand what I'm saying? We ain't going to wait for this type of activity or behavior or this type of thing to go down. You understand? You are the first line of protection. She didn't have a lot of answers, guys, for simple questions. Why your alarms didn't go off when... Okay, he didn't show up, but where's my kids? He ain't answering the phone. Where's my kids? I call all around my family's house. My kids ain't over there. Call his family's house. The children ain't over there. Where's my kids, man? Where? You loved her. She always used to be like, she was so helpful. She would walk up to strangers, this little girl. Talk to everyone. Had a beautiful personality because they are beautiful at 4 years old. They are angels at 4 years old. So, of course, she don't fear the world like an adult will fear people or fear the world. She said, how did I get in this state? I just left from burying my father and now I got to come back and bury my daughter? She said she don't have nothing to say to him. Well, listen. You need to have something to say to this man. You need to be, where's my daughter? What happened? I believe she's deceased. Where did you bury her? Everyone is upset with Miss Brittany. She said, I don't look at the television. I don't watch TV. I don't watch social media. But my friends do. You ain't going to church. You ain't pleading unto God. Help me, Lord. You just sitting in your room crying? What is really happening here? Guys, I'm not the best orator. But you can check out the story at All Viral Access Media, who does an excellent job with reporting on stories like this, breaking it down. Remember, we're the jurors. We are the jurors of these cases that we hear about. So I have to send you to their page because you can see the interview firsthand on their page and you can determine for yourself. Is this an emotional distraught mother? Is this woman involved in her child's death? Like the police isn't even talking to her. And then I also remembered this, one more thing. He was dropped off at the hospital, but he said that he was kidnapped and he had to walk a distance. But the time that he said that he was dropped, that he was supposedly kidnapped, it shows video footage of him being dropped off at the hospital. So, who brought him there? Who drove the car? I don't have any more to talk about, guys. But as I said, you can tune in to All Viral Access Media. I think they're the best person to look at this interview. Wait. Bye.